Ciao, I'm Mario, a Swiss car guy on YouTube, and today I'm sitting in my 1964 Cadillac Coupe De Ville. In my quite dismantled Cadillac Coupe De Ville, because I took out most of the dashboard, not the entirety, because there's the structure that I'm trying to avoid to take out, but I needed to have a look behind the dashboard, because as I already mentioned, I'm planning to reinstate the climate control in this car, and also I first needed to fix the heating, which I sort of did. I managed to get it to work, but I needed to see what it looked like underneath, what things are still there, what aren't, and whatever is still there, in what shape is it. And I have to say, whoever took out the climate control out of this car, they knew pretty well what they were doing, because they basically hacked up everything. Nothing is really usable, or almost nothing. Even the cables are spliced together and they are a bit of a mess, so I think I might replace the entire wiring loom.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, they sort of jerry-rigged it into working, into, producing heat, but even then I had to adjust the arm of the power servo that I still have to its maximum close so that I could get some heat, because otherwise the blend door would never fully close and I would get too much outside air. But I got the heat working, I know what I have, and now I am about to put the dash back in, because I don't want to leave the car in this state as it is, because I want to be able to drive it fairly soon, and I will do the air conditioning job later this year. I reckon I first need to gather a lot of parts, and in the meantime I want to be able to drive the car, so I'm putting everything back in. And not everything back in, because I did also take some things out, because under the dash I found like additional speakers that made absolutely no sense. The car is mono, and right now it has this thing here as a speaker, which is not correct, obviously, and I may replace it later on, but right now this is what I have, and so I'm going to put this back in, so at least I get some semblance of music. And this is recording, and now we try to remove the Glovebox liner with tools. Okay, let's remove the Bluetooth accessories and stuff. Let's take these and let's put it in the baggie so I don't lose them. And then I want to take out the liner, which means there are screws. These go in the baggie as well. So I have all the Glovebox screws in the same place, and these are indeed screws, they're not bolts. Let's see whether I can take at least the liner off. Yep, that looks good. That's very loose. I have to make it through, slide it out, and okay, there is this thing connected. The USB for the stereo, or the radio rather. I will undo that. Oh, nice. At least the harness for the transducer and the power servo is still there. And there is something else connected down here. Even more not connected. Oh god, something broke. Is this a light bulb socket? Or, yep, this is a light bulb socket, and it might be for the curtsy light, because they don't work. I will take off the Glovebox door, because it's kind of a way. This thing is in a way too, but I don't know how to undo it. Well, maybe through. Ow. I mean, maybe I can undo it, because I can actually see in there. Yes, the Glovebox liner is free. So it's just these hex bolts, I guess. These might be bolts, actually. It's held on by a nut, and I was not smart enough to bring a wrench. Let's see if I can go in there with this thing and hold it on from the bottom. No, this has actually worked. I'm amazed, to be honest. Yep. Wow, this is out of juice. Of course it is. So we'll do it by hand. Like a person from the Middle Ages. Using hand tools. Like an animal. I just want to hold on to the Glovebox door now. Because it should come off. Once I release the little... Look at this. Hey, Glovebox door is off. And it's a heavy little thing. Okay, there's something else here that I don't think belongs here. A screwdriver. This is not mine. But it's a PB Swiss Tools, which is actually a decent brand. It's just very dirty in use. Okay, so the Glovebox is off. I have good access to what is behind it. Should I take off the ashtray as well? Oh, maybe I'll find the cable for the ashtray. Oh, maybe not. I mean, yeah, let's not take the ashtray off. Okay, I'm taking off this thing, the A-pillar cover, and it's Phillips screws as far as I can see. And I know I shouldn't use power tools in this, so... Okay, this is already undone. This was a bit too easy. Let me take my trim tool to help me. Okay, this is off. And this is rusty. I don't like that. It's not that rusty, but it's rusty. I don't like the way it looks. I will treat this at some point. Okay, one's off. And again, another screw missing up here. So only 2 screws again. Well, there is definite rust there. That I will have to treat because it's not good. The rest is just, you know, like raw metal. I don't mind that. The headliner is cracking. That's nothing new. The trim piece itself are actually not in bad shape. I mean, they are in bad shape. They are mangled up front here, but the chrome would have been quite alright, I reckon. Now, this is already out because I'm missing the clip that fastens from behind. This will pull out if I pull it with a bit of force. It actually already is loose, good. And then I have screws. There should be screws in the binnacle. There is one. No. So okay, there should have been 3 screws, which aren't there. Then are there any screws here? Wow, there's already that's out. What's with this? Isn't this? Nope. Wow, this is not attached. This is not actually attached. Awesome. Let's get the steering wheel out of the way. Adjustable steering wheel. Neat. Okay. Let's come out of the way. What is that noise that I'm hearing? Yeah, let's take it up and pull it towards us. Good. There's the wire. Oh, look. It's not connected. Nothing is connected on this car. I feel like this might be. There's literally nothing hooked up to this top of the dash. It's ridiculous. Nope, there is something hooked up. Nope, not. Nothing is hooked up. I mean, it makes it easy to disassemble, but this is why nothing works. None of the lights, because nothing has been hooked up. And where do I put this now? Okay, so now that the dash pad is off, I have good access to, inspect everything, to all the to all the parts that are installed in this car. And okay, these are speakers. Oh wow, there is additional speakers which say surround on them, and there is one on this side, and I don't know if there is one on this side as well, but it's not what I would have wanted. So this is something else I'm going to address. Let me show you. So this is the Caliber high quality aftermarket speaker, and if we go back there, we see there is this surround speaker pointing towards the floor. This will have to be undone, and I will undo it probably right now. I don't know if there's another speaker also on this side, because there's much less space behind the dashboard, but even dashboard, I reckon it's not tightened down. Or is this just held on my pins? Oh wow, there's actually even a crack. So, not ideal. And the pins might be alright, but how could they be so loose? I mean, come on. But now I'm gonna put the dashboard back in, so, have a look, I guess. Okay, boom, boom. Yep. Here we are, instrument cluster. And this shit needs to go away. This can go high. Okay, this can go out of the way. This is a connector, I don't know what it's for. Yeah, it's not ideal, but that's quite heavy. Warm air. Okay, the car is sort of back together. I put the instrument cluster back in. I connected everything. Now I even have light again in the little gear selector indicator, which is great because it just wasn't hooked up. What I haven't hooked up is one light which seems to cause a short and blow a fuse, and I have to figure out why that is. But other than that, the car so far is working. The heating is working, which is very nice. I had to, of course, do some jerry rigging. I hooked up some hoses, and then I had to block off one of the vacuum ports, because otherwise, if you have vacuum leaks, nothing works properly in this car. And I've also come to the realization that when I'm going to put in the air conditioning again, I will probably redo everything, because I think nothing in here is usable. And even if it was usable, it's too much work to figure out what some of the previous owners have done, because even wire harnesses have been spliced and cables have been connected, and I think it would be cheaper to just get a new wiring harness and just replace it and have everything the right way, the right colors, and then just install the parts that I'm gonna get. Anyway, this was just a little update from the car, which is apparently now a construction site, and it's full of junk, obviously, because I need to work on this car. But now I sort of know what's up with the car, and I know which parts I need to order. And also, I still have something going on with the carburetor, because I just noticed it has a massive vacuum leak, because it's missing a screw where large amounts of vacuum come out, which I think is very weird, and it would explain why the car runs not that great. So I have to fix that vacuum leak by probably just sourcing the proper screw and screw it in. And then I can also maybe adjust the carburetor, because I think it's adjusted very badly. The idle screws are all the way out, which is not really good. So this is an adventure for another time, but for now the dash is sort of back together, and the car is drivable, and indeed I can drive it. Let's turn on the lights and let's go. And there's a lot of creaking, obviously. This is also interesting. The car only creaks when it's warm. Otherwise, when it's cold and you steer, it's alright. But as soon as the car is warm, it starts creaking. Oh man, I don't know what that is, but it's something that needs to be addressed as well. Because that car sounds like my backfield. But yes, this car will take me a lot of time and a lot of money to fix, and I'm okay with it, because this car from the very beginning, it was going to be a project, it was going to be something where I can do some work, and I plan to do so. And even if it costs some money, I mean, it's a hobby, right? So I'm not too worried about it. Because again, even if it costs some money, this is never going to cost me like 50 grand or 100 grand, so it's actually quite alright. I actually also repositioned the kickdown switch because I wanted to check out if it works, but I don't think it does. I haven't actually even measured it, even though I took the multimeter out, but I haven't really used it for that. I use it for other things. But I discovered more, like the sludge in the radiator, which at first I thought head gasket, but then I realized it's orange and not, you know, milky brown. So I reckon it's residue rust crud from the past in the radiator. Something that means I will have to flush it at some time. Right now the cooling system still works because the car is not overheating, but it's very cold, and it is also heating, so even the heater core is good, which is a win. But I don't know how many more wins this car is going to give me. Anyway, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more updates on the car, and consider following me on Instagram if you want some in-between updates. But this is the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye. No kickdown.
Hello, darkness, my old
No
friend.
kickdown.
I've come to talk with you again.